Welcome to MJJTAYLOR Short Stories. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more scary stories.
The polite stranger. They say you never remember the face of a stranger who passes you on the street, but I do. I was 17 the first time I saw him. It was late autumn, the kind of night where the cold slides into your jacket, no matter how tightly you zip it. The streets were mostly empty, just me, a few scattered leaves, and him. He wore a gray coat, not shabby, not flashy, just ordinary. His shoes were polished, and he carried a paper bag like he'd stepped out of the corner store. His hair was neatly combed. When our eyes met, he smiled. A polite smile. The sort of smile you give someone you'll never see again. Not too much, not too little, just enough. I nodded back because that's what you do when strangers are polite. You don't want to seem rude. You don't want to invite conversation either. Just a nod. Just a moment. I never thought about him again. Until the next morning. Police tape stretched across a house 2 blocks from where I'd passed him. An entire family. Gone. No screams, no forced entry. No one heard a thing. Just gone. The newspapers had little to say at first. They called it unusual. They called it disturbing. But after the second and then the third, they had a different word. Serial. Over the next 3 years, it happened again and again. Always at night, always in quiet neighborhoods. 10 families, 12 lives. The city was terrified. No one knew who he was, where he came from, or how he got inside. They called him the gentleman, because every survivor, every single one, described the same man. Polite, calm, always smiling. And here's the part that keeps me up at night. I saw him again. Not once, not twice, at least 5 times over the years. Once at the bus stop. He sat across from me, paper bag on his lap. He nodded like we were acquaintances, like we shared a secret. He left the bus before I did. The bag stayed behind. I leaned forward, tempted to look inside, but the driver snatched it up first, snapped at me, "Don't touch it," and ran it out the door. The stranger was waiting on the sidewalk. He took the bag back gently, thanked the driver, and walked away. Empty. The bag was empty. Another time, I swear he followed me home. I heard his shoes on the pavement behind me, steady even, never rushing. When I finally turned the corner onto my street, he was gone. Just gone. But I smelled something faint in the air, like cologne. Expensive, subtle. The kind only certain men wear. And then the murders stopped. Just like that. The gentleman vanished from the papers. People forgot. Moved on. But I didn't. How could I? His face is burned into my memory. The smile, that damn polite smile. Years later, I'd moved away, different town, different life. I was walking home late one night when I felt it. The same cold, sharp awareness. That feeling of being observed. I turned. Across the street, under a broken streetlight, he stood. Same gray coat, same polished shoes, paper bag in hand. He didn't wave, he didn't chase. He just watched, polite as ever. And here's the truth I can't shake. They say serial killers can't stop. That once they begin, they don't choose to quit. So either he's waiting, or he never stopped. And the only reason I'm still here is because I smiled back. The man in apartment 3B. When I first moved into my building, I thought I'd gotten lucky. The rent was cheap, the hallways were clean, and the neighbors kept to themselves. Except for the man in apartment 3B. From the day I moved in, I noticed him. Or rather, I noticed his door. Because it was always cracked open. Just a little, never wide, never shut. Always open enough that if you walked by slowly, you could feel the air change. I told myself he was just careless. Some people don't close doors all the way. But then I started seeing him. A tall man, pale, with dark circles under his eyes. He wore the same thing every time. A white shirt, sleeves rolled up, and black slacks. Nothing odd, nothing flashy, just neat. Always neat. And every time I passed, he'd be standing just inside the door, still, silent, watching. Not in a threatening way, not even unfriendly. Just watching, with the kind of calm that makes your stomach tighten. The first time, I nodded at him. He nodded back. That was it. But then the nights got strange. I'd hear footsteps in the hall at 2 or 3 in the morning. Slow, deliberate, up and down, back and forth. I'd check my peephole. No one there. But when I opened the door to 3B would always be cracked open. Just enough. One night I got bold. I pressed my ear against his door. The air coming through was colder than the hall. I thought I heard whispering. Dozens of voices, layered over each other, too soft to make out. When I pulled away, I realized the whispering had stopped, and he was standing there in the dark, watching me. I mumbled an apology and hurried back to my apartment. The next morning, there was an envelope slipped under my door. No name, no address. Inside was a single photograph, a picture of me, sleeping in my bed. I should have called the police. I should have moved out right then. But I didn't. I told myself it was a prank, that maybe someone else in the building was messing with me. Until I saw him again. I was taking the elevator, and when the doors opened on the 3rd floor, he was there, standing in front of 3B door, cracked open behind him. Same clothes, same stare. He stepped into the elevator without a word. The ride down was silent except for the faintest sound. Like a shuffle, like paper. I looked down. His hands were empty. But I swear I heard the sound of photographs sliding across each other, over and over. He got off on the ground floor and walked straight out the building. I thought that was the end of it. That night I woke up to a noise, a soft click, like a door latch. When I sat up, my bedroom door was cracked open. Just a little. The air inside was colder. And in the dark, I swear I saw him, standing there, calm, silent, watching. I blinked, and the door was shut. I spent the rest of the night with the lights on. The next morning, apartment 3B was empty. Completely empty, as if no one had ever lived there. The landlord swore the unit hadn't been rented for years. But every few weeks, I find another photograph slipped under my door. Always of me. Always sleeping. And I know one night, I'll wake up again to that sound. The sound of a door slowly, politely opening.